Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. In Chicago Business Today, Greg Brown. Motorola Solutions, the maker of two-way radio systems for police and fire departments, split from the cell phone handset maker earlier this year and is now a separate, publicly traded company. The company also makes barcode scanning equipment for customers like FedEx and Walmart. I sat down with Chief Executive Greg Brown and began by asking him about the company's massive Schaumburg headquarters and what the plans for it are now that Motorola has split into two businesses.
We'll rationalize the footprint in Schaumburg, meaning contracted specifically from a facility standpoint. Do not anticipate that that will affect employment because we're already redeploying people into buildings to have a higher utilization. But do I think there will be a couple of patches of land in the Schaumburg campus and a couple of buildings that we can divest or sell? That would be our goal.
Do you have any plans at this point for a timetable as to when you hope to either sell it or lease it?
We'd like to get all that done by the end of next year.
And what about your real estate needs in the city? You talked about adding 400 jobs here. What kind of spaces will you be looking at?
So we have some office space on Michigan that we will expand and put some additional jobs here, but that's not big enough to equip 400, so we will likely look for a newer facility or piece of real estate either in the city or on the outskirts, maybe by O'Hare, but still within Chicago proper.
Do you know how much space you'll be looking at?
Don't know yet. Too early to tell, depending upon whether we go with one facility or balance between two, so it's too early.
Do you see potential for more jobs beyond the 400?
Don't tell Rom that. No, I don't at the moment, but you never know, because I like the opportunity to put a little more investment in the city. I think a vibrant Chicago makes for a successful business community, both in and around Chicago proper.
Well, let's talk about the mayor. He's been in office a few months. How would you rate his performance so far, and what more would you like to see him do?
I'd rate his performance strong because he is committed to lengthening the school day for Chicago public schools. I like that. He's created or gotten commitments to create over 4,000 jobs. What else needs to be done is further work around the budget deficit, and I think he knows that. I think he got after about $75 million initially, but we sit here with a pretty staggering number of $600 million plus, but he'll get after that, and I think he knows that.
Report out today showed Illinois among the worst states for a business climate. What's the most important thing that Illinois needs to do to improve its business climate here and attract the kinds of companies that Mayor Emanuel and everyone else wants to see headquartered here?
Get its house in order, reduce taxes to make it more conducive for businesses to invest, implement meaningful pension reform, and show that Illinois is capable of addressing our problems head on and making difficult decisions. In an analogous way, I know Rom it's early, but early stage, he's gotten off to a fast start. Would like to see the state pick up the pace and start to make some more meaningful decisions.
How would you say that Chicago and Illinois' economy compares to the rest of the nation?
I think Chicago is analogous to the overall economy. The state, I don't know, but would probably be more concerned. At the federal level, there's clearly a recognition that growth has slowed. We have to get GDP north of 2.5%, make a meaningful difference in adding jobs and reducing unemployment. We'd like to see the U.S. economy grow at about 3%. So deficit reduction, probably another short-term stimulus. Would love to see the free trade agreements passed, initiate a leading R&D tax credit like we had 20 years ago, look to reform immigration. We've got to get the bipartisan political theater and rhetoric, but it has slowed us down to where the unintended consequences are quite destructive, and we need to get on with getting on.
And let's talk about growth for Motorola Solutions. What are your goals for revenue growth in the next year or so?
So we just raised guidance in July, and we said when we launched the year that we would grow between 4 and 4.5%. We raised it to 5.5 to 6%, which is good. We guided the investment community toward the higher end of our operating margins, 16.5%. Lisa, longer term, organically, we believe the firm can grow at 5 to 8% organically without acquisition, given the demand drivers in mission-critical public safety, as well as the continued mobilization of the enterprise and some of the other expansionary things we're doing there.
Do you think your stock is undervalued right now?
Every CEO thinks their stock is undervalued.
Where do you think it should be trading?
I'm not a stock prognosticator. I'll give you this, though. We came out, we did the July earnings call. We announced that we exceeded the quarter. This was Q2. We raised the full year guidance for the remainder of 2011. We initiated a dividend. We announced a $2 billion share repurchase program over the next year and a half. And the stock was around $47 or $48 in between those goalposts. And 15 days later, it was $39 as the debt ceiling debate reached epic proportions. A fear over the collapse of Greece and Portugal. Actually, the stock went to 38 or 39 in days. So it is what it is. I think our stock price will be more determined, at least in the short term, by the macroeconomic conditions. What we have to do is continue to perform, and it'll take care of itself.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mayor Emanuel named Brown to the board of World Business Chicago, and Brown told Crain that in that role he's already spoken with 2 companies he would not name about expanding their operations in Chicago that could eventually bring another 400 to 500 jobs to the city. Well, you can keep up with all the latest news on Motorola Solutions by sticking with chicagobusiness.com. Thanks for watching.